Welcome to a channel update. Today I'm going to go over some recent controversies regarding this channel. I'm going to go over some of the analytics, how well this channel has been performing and stuff like that. I'm going to talk about some upcoming videos and what to expect in the months to come. And finally, at the end, I'm going to show you some things that I bought recently. Let's start with the controversies. The first controversy is in regards to the Super Bomberman video that I posted. It's where I'm playing the game with my wife, and it was an attempted playthrough. We didn't get through the whole thing. We were blowing ourselves up and making a lot of mistakes. That video was called Autistic Couple Plays Super Bomberman. As it turns out, I played and recorded it in the wrong aspect ratio. What you see on the screen is too square. It should have been a 4:3 aspect ratio instead of 3:3 or whatever that is. Thankfully, somebody pointed it out in the comments, and I regret the error. That was really stupid. I basically squished the screen. Whenever I see other people playing games on the internet and they either stretch or squish the image, I tell them that it's a big pet peeve. So it makes it even more hurtful that I did it myself. And it was a setting that I had enabled on my Retron 5. For certain games, that setting is good to have on, and for others, it's not. I will say pretty much every Genesis game on the Retron 5 doesn't really display the correct aspect ratio. It's just a little bit off. But I should have known better for Super Bomberman. And since I had it squished, that's probably why we didn't perform as well, because we were playing on a squished screen and, you know, it's supposed to be 4:3. Now, I will say I have recorded other videos, including some on the Super Nintendo, and they're already posted. They're just unlisted. You haven't seen them yet. But it's possible that some of those, the screen might be squished. But going forward, for new playthroughs and stuff, I'm going to be much more careful about that. I'm using the word controversy quite loosely in this segment, but the next controversy is in the video called I Got These Games for Free, How? And in that video, I acquired a bunch of PS4 games. And I mentioned how I do not think PS4 games are not going to hold their value over time because you don't get the whole game on the disc. My exact words are, the disc is just a license. I pointed out that you have to install them and then you download all these updates and then you have the full game. But people pointed out that if you're not connected to the internet, you can still pop one of these discs in and play a full game or whatever, play the complete game. So the way I said that just a license to play a game is not a good way of describing it, and I regret that error. But I do stand by the comment that they're not going to be as collectible in the future. And just for example, I have Bloodborne here. This was one of the free games, and today I put it into my PS5 and it started installing the game. This process is the same on the PS4. But basically, anytime you put a PS4 game in one of these systems or a PS5 game, it dumps what is on the disc onto the console itself. Even after you've done that dump, it does something else. It says download or copy right there, but then I got hit with another update and I had to download that. So the original dump was 27 gigabytes, but after the updates, it was 36 gigabytes. Now there is a online co-op or something like that on this disk, so maybe a lot of that data had to do with that. When I'm reading through the patch notes, there seems to be a lot of important changes they made to the game. Fixed bug that resulted in bosses becoming immobilized, fixed bug that left certain lifts in elevators inoperable, and that was just the first update. There was tons of others in the most recent update, which was in 2015. Anyway, once you have gotten all that installed and all those updates, then when you're playing the game, you're playing it off your hard drive. It's not reading the disc anymore. But if you're in the middle of the game and you push eject, it kicks you out of the game. So it requires you to have the disc in, even though you're done with the disc, you've downloaded the whole game onto your hard drive. In some ways, it is just a license at that point after the installation. Of course, there's space concerns. You're taking up all these gigabytes by doing this dumping and the updates and stuff like that. So I stand by my comment that PS4 games would not be as collectible as previous generations, because I think to them it's just going to be more convenient to download the game whether it be legally or illegally, and they're not going to want to have to keep a disc in their PS4 to play it or whatever. Maybe I'm wrong and all these PS4 discs will go up in value over time, but we'll see. Now this next one's barely a controversy, but I'll stick it in this segment anyway. There's a video I posted recently called Why I Hide Ouya's in My Videos. In that video I said that in the past, people have made fun of the Ouya in the comments with these snarky remarks and stuff like that. And now I get no comments like that at all, even when I show the Ouya in my game room tours. And from that, I made the assumption that people had changed over time. But some people in the comment section of that video challenged me on that. They don't think that people have changed the way I think they have. It's maybe too optimistic. A lot of people mentioned that maybe it's just because people have forgotten about the Ouya. But what I should have added to that video is that I hardly get negative comments at all anymore. Back in the days, I used to get people calling me a virgin. I used to get people telling me that this was a big waste of time. And I get none of that anymore. It's not just the Ouya comments. So something has changed in the comments on my videos. In fact, I was trying to do another negative comment response video like I've done in the past, but I went to gather negative comments and there's just not enough of them. Some of them end up in my spam box. I still get some occasionally. I got one the other day that made a sexual comment about my wife, but it's not enough to do a whole video about, so I scrapped plans to do a negative comment video. And finally, the last controversy I want to touch is that some people are unhappy with how I've been titling some of my videos, specifically the Let's Play videos I've been posting, such as our Analytical Guy plays the arcade version of Altered Beast, Awkward Man plays Dune, Battle of Arrakis, Awkward Couple plays Bubble Bobble, and so on. Some people believe that I am putting myself down, but I will just say that I don't feel any negativity from my own titles that I put on my videos. Some people like them because it's self-deprecating, but I can just tell you that I don't feel anything when I make a title like that. My only wish is that it opens more eyes and it gets people curious about clicking the video. I want it to make the video more sticky, meaning you're scrolling through it and it catches your eye and you click on it because you're curious. I want new people to come to the channel. That's my wish. Because I noted that other retro gamers in their Let's Play videos have very generic titles, and those videos I noticed do not get a lot of views. So I was trying to add something a little bit more interesting to the mix when people are scrolling through what to click on. Some people are calling it clickbait. I define clickbait as something that's misleading. I found a cat in my game room, and then you watch the video and there's no cat at all. That's clickbait to me. Now, some people define clickbait as sensational, and if you have a sensational title, then that's misleading or something. But I don't believe calling myself analytical is sensational. I think it's true, and I think every one of these titles is true, whether I call myself autistic, analytical, awkward, or whatever. So don't think too much about it. Just remember, it's helping to bring more people to the channel. And that's a good segue to the analytics portion of this video. I've been very happy with the numbers on those Let's Play videos, and I've been very happy with the numbers overall on this channel since I did the relaunch about 2 weeks ago, and I get at least 1,000 views per video, and that's not too bad in a retro world, and sometimes I'm getting a lot more than that. Like I said, I want to attract new viewers, and the data does show that there are new viewers watching this channel. You can see on this graph, the relaunch happened right here on the timeline. The blue line are new viewers. So whether it be from titling or whatever, I am grabbing some new viewers. And I have gained 240 subscribers. Here's some other intriguing information. This diagram shows the time periods in which you guys log into YouTube. The brighter the section, the more viewers that are online during that period. The more of my viewers, I should say. So it looks like you guys do a lot of watching on the weekends, and you do a lot on Monday, and you do a lot on Friday. I do try to time a lot of my videos to go out on the weekends. The biggest age group I got watching my videos is 35 to 44. That's about what I expect, 98.6% male. So hopefully those sticky titles will attract some of the females. And right here we can see that half my viewers are subscribed. My best performing video since the relaunch has been I attempt to make YouTube history. That's where I attempt to build an arch using Mattel games for the Atari 2600. Now someone did tag me on Reddit and I didn't even know that was a thing, but when I went to look at it, they showed a picture of these computer monitors that were also in an arch, and that has become like a meme or something. And I really appreciated seeing that because it was very similar to what I was attempting in the video. The Let's Play videos are getting at least 1,000 views. Some of them are getting 2,000. They're starting to trail off a little bit. I know not everyone is into them. I will say going forward, half my videos are going to be Let's Plays and half of them are going to be something else. At least that's the plan for now. I think that's a good mix. I will do live videos sometime in the future, but not all of my Let's Plays will be live. I do edit those Let's Plays a little bit. I edit the introductions just because sometimes I'm stumbling upon my words and I'm stuttering a little bit, and I like to clean that up a little bit. And I also edit out my ums, which I do that a lot as I'm moving from subject to subject. The Awkward Man Plays Dune Battle of Arrakis video is approaching 10,000 views, and I'm really glad that that's happening. I could not have imagined getting 10,000 views to play a game that I loved. And maybe it's because it has the word Dune in it, and this is the time where the newest Dune movie has hit the theaters. I did that on purpose, by the way, but I have been wanting to play that game. I am going to continue to try to make those videos more palatable to other people, and I have invested in new lapel mics. This is a new Sony lapel mic. These have a higher sound quality than my previous mic that I was using. You can see right here in this comparison. There's a lot of other Bubble Bobble games on other systems. Some of them are based on this arcade game, but there's been sequels and stuff. Right now we're searching for the exit, and we have found it. So let's go ahead and exit. And speaking of my wife, she will continue to be semi-involved in some of these Let's Plays. We talked about doing some of the games that she's more into than I am, such as Peggle and stuff like that.
Peggle 2!
So be on the lookout for those. It's just when there's two people involved, you have to kind of schedule it. If we're attempting to beat one of these games, then these videos can end up being 2 hours. So I do have to coordinate with her, but there will be more of them coming up. I do realize that she doesn't talk that much in these videos. She's a little bit nervous about being on camera and she's not used to this stuff. At least one of us is talking a lot, but I do think over time, if she does more of them, she might talk more. If not, it's no big deal. It's good to have two players in a game. It just brings a lot more to the video and it brings a lot more to the gameplay. So let's move on to upcoming videos. I've already uploaded a lot of videos that you guys haven't seen yet. Maybe not a lot. I got about 8 or 9 of them, and they're all Let's Plays. And like I said, every other video is going to be a Let's Play. Those are mostly 8-bit and 16-bit games. There's a couple of arcade games in there as well. Recently, I polled you guys on my community tab asking you what your favorite generation of game systems is. A lot of you did like the 16-bit, which is good because that's the kind of videos I've been producing. But the leading category was 6th generation. So we're talking GameCube, PS2, the original Xbox. So I'm going to be incorporating into my Let's Play mix more games from that generation. I have a huge PS2 backlog, so I'm excited about going through some of those games. I've already mentioned this before, but I have built something new in this room, and I have a video that I've been working on that shows my progress on that. And most of it's done. I have one more thing I need to do to that thing, and I'm waiting for something to arrive in the mail so that I can complete that task. But I'm going to have a video covering that thing that I built, so that's something you have to look forward to. I am also going to be launching a new type of video on this channel. It's going to be a retro news segment. And I do realize other people have done this to death on YouTube, but I think that I can make it a little bit different. It's not going to be like Spawnwave, even though me and him are cloned from the same material. So when you see that video, please give it a chance. Another video I plan on making is called Do People Get Worse at Video Games as They Age? Or that's the working title. That's going to be all about how age affects your reflexes and how that manifests itself in the games that we play. I'm going to be taking a dive into research articles that study aging, study reflexes, and there's actually been some that study age differences in game playing. The ultimate goal of that video is to determine whether or not if it's true that as you age, you get worse at games. So it's going to be very interesting. I'm going to be doing another video about pricing, and that may not sound exciting, but those types of videos I've done in the past have done pretty well. In this case, I'm going to go over what systems have games that are rising in prices, and what systems are having games that are lowering in prices, and what systems have flattened out. And I plan on going through all the major systems, such as all the Ataris and all the PlayStations and all the Nintendo systems. And finally, I'll tell you about one more upcoming video, and this one I'm very excited about. It's titled Games I Don't Know How to Play, and that pretty much summarizes what the video is about. I'm going to show you some games that I have attempted to play recently and in the past that I just couldn't figure out, so it was hard to move forward and actually play those games. It's going to make me look like an idiot, but I'm sure a lot of you have attempted some games before and you just couldn't figure them out, so you just put them back on the shelf or whatever. So that one I think is going to be very fun. And for the last segment, I'm going to go over some recent pickups. Now, I don't have that many of them. I've slowed down my retro game buying in recent years, but I still pick up a few every now and then. I have recently purchased Red Dog for the Dreamcast. I just love Dreamcast. The percentage of good games to bad games is really good compared to other systems. But in this one, you're a tank, a four-wheel tank or something, and you move around in these 3D environments and blow things up, it looks like. This is a type of game that I would expect on the Dreamcast. And there is a quote on the front from Gamers Republic, a magazine, I think, at the time. Red Dog is one of the best original Dreamcast games ever created. Great single and multiplayer fun. Buy this game. And also, I have purchased Starhawk. Well, not that Starhawk. I have purchased this Starhawk on the PS3. And this is a game that has a single player mode and a multiplayer mode. This has a single player mode and a multiplayer mode, but you can't play the multiplayer mode anymore because they took the servers down. This is a spiritual sequel to Warhawk. It's related to that game. I believe this started off as DLC for Warhawk, but they turned it into its own game with its own characteristics. Now, I said they took the multiplayer servers down, but somebody is working on restoring those on a private server. So one day I will be able to play the multiplayer again on this, and that should be coming soon. It originally had a 32-player online mode, so that's all the more reason to buy this. It was only like $7, and I'm going to be able to play the multiplayer. I've never played it before, but I look forward to it. I also got Red Faction Armageddon. This is the 4th game in the Red Faction series, and it's the last. They have announced that they're not gonna have any more Red Faction games. I have only played the first game on the PS1, and it was awesome. I've played through it twice, and I plan on playing through it again probably in one of my Let's Play videos. I do know that they changed the series drastically in the second game, and that's probably why it kind of lost momentum. But anyway, this was a cheap pickup, so I thought now is the time to grab that. And finally, I got Resistance Fall of Man. Just like Starhawk, this had a multiplayer component that was taken down, but they have restored the multiplayer for this. I look forward to trying the multiplayer on this, but there's also a single player campaign. This was the first of 5 games in the Resistance series. So if I like this one, I'll end up playing those other ones. So that's it for the channel update video. Here's some other videos on the screen right now. Watch some of those. Get my numbers up, people, get my numbers up. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.